Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video. This video is going to be on the top 5 things I think that Nintendo should do in order for them to make their new console, the NX, successful. I've seen consoles come and go. I've seen successful ones. I've seen really bad ones. And as we all know right now, Nintendo is not on top, and for a good reason. You know what I mean? So they're coming out with this new console. Not sure when. They say sometime next year. But I think it'd be fitting if I express the top 5 things I think would be good for them to do for the NX to actually be somewhat competitive and successful. So let's get it started. Okay, number 5 is going to be better marketing. What I mean by better marketing is get rid of the fucking Wii name. You don't need the Wii name anymore. Get rid of that. Now I'm sure they're not going to use that, but they should have done that shit before they came out with the Wii U. You know why? Because when they used the same name, people had no idea that that was even a brand new console. People thought it was the Wii version 2.0. They thought it was like an upgrade or something like that. I've talked to many people who had no idea that the Wii U even came out. They have no idea that the Wii U was a completely separate console. So they gotta get rid of that stupid ass name. Done. That's it. Better marketing. Push out something new. Newer name. You know what I mean? Something completely different. That's all you gotta do. Get rid of that shit and just do the better marketing and push out your shit with a completely new brand. That's it. That's my number 5. Okay, number 4 is basically pretty simple, and I think, you know, Nintendo is headed in the right direction from what I've heard. It's actually make the console powerful and on level with the current consoles, or more powerful, more competitive. What I mean by that is graphics, specs, the power of the system, what have you. Now we go back to the Wii. You know, obviously the Wii was not as powerful as the PS3 or the Xbox 360. You know, when people know that, dude, they see your console as the lower tier. They see it as the weaker one of the bunch. And from what I've heard, they're gonna make, you know, brand new industry leading specs, you know what I mean, more powerful, whatever. Nobody even knows, you know what I mean? So hopefully they get on board with that. They will actually make their shit on par, or if not, a fuck times better than what the competitors are doing. And so I think that would really help out coming back in and regaining your spot at the top, letting people know that, hey, we're back and we ain't nothing to fuck with, and we're gonna come back, and we're coming back strong. Our shit is powerful than any of these things right here. So I think number 4 should be a more powerful and more competitive console. Okay, number 3 I think would be really good is if the NX on launch day already has first party games at launch. So the day that it comes out, they already have games such as the new Mario. They already have a game such as maybe the new Zelda. Now they don't have to have every first party game. They don't have to have the Kirby or the Metroids or the Donkey Kongs, but at least have Mario. It would be good to have Zelda. Hell, even have a racer like F-Zero or Star Fox as a flying game. Like, I think that would really help, because if you're gonna market this, not only will it be the most powerful, you could also market it as having, okay, here's the brand new Super Mario game, and just make it the most badass, hype that junk, because obviously people love Nintendo's first party games. They just love them. And so I don't see the reason why they don't prepare a little bit more, have these games developed on launch. You know, people complain about the Xbox One and the PS4 not having any games right now, and it just takes a while to finally pump up the games. So why would anybody want to buy a console straight off first day when there's no games? Especially Nintendo, since right now Nintendo is not in the best in leading spots. I think what they should do is maybe slow it down a little bit, develop some first party games for launch. I remember the Super Nintendo. When the Super Nintendo came out, it came with Super Mario World. That game was on everybody's console. Everybody had it. That was the game people wanted to play. You know, that's Nintendo's mainstay character, Super Mario. So they had that one. I remember the first time I ever saw an N64 when N64 was just about to launch. Best Buy had it. What game did they have? Super Mario 64. I was amazed at this, the graphics. It was finally 3D. I was like, oh my gosh, I need an N64 because of the Mario game. So what I think is they need to have good launch titles, okay? And what I mean by that, if they can't have all those first party games, they need to have at least Mario. They need to pump out Mario as their launch game and then pick out whatever other games you want from that. That's my personal opinion. I think that would really help out the NX when it comes out and when they market it. So that's number 3. Okay, number 2 is something I really think is very important to every console, and that is third-party support. What is third-party support? Basically games that are not made by Nintendo. And why do I say this? Because if you look at every console that has done well and has done super successful, have all had third-party support. Let's look at the systems that haven't done shit, that are garbage. Atari Jaguar, no third-party support. 3DO, no third-party support. None of that shit, dude. You know what I mean? So I really think Nintendo really needs to focus on that, and the way they can do that is by making the NX easy to develop. I remember back in the N64 days, back when CDs were becoming the norm of video games, developers wanted to go to PS1 because it was a lot easier to develop. N64 was not, because it was still cartridge based. So what they need to do is make it easy for developers to develop. If developers don't want to develop for your console, you got no third-party support, man. It's that simple. So again, third-party support. Nintendo cannot continually live off their first-party game. I want to play the GTAs. When have you seen a Grand Theft Auto on a Nintendo console? Never! You know what I mean? So they gotta have games like that, more mature games as well. Nintendo can have a first-party mature game. Why not? Let's be real. Most of their games are kiddie-ish. So Nintendo needs to come back strong with that, man. The NES had tons of third-party support. Every company wanted to go to Nintendo, dude. Super Nintendo as well. All the companies wanted to go to Nintendo, man. Super Nintendo did some of the best RPGs, dude. Squaresoft was over there. Then they moved to freaking PS1, dude. Like, Nintendo really needs third-party support, and I think the NX definitely needs to focus on third-party support as well as their first-party support, but they really need to drive that in. So that's my number 2, third-party support. Okay, before I get into number 1, I just want to give out an honorable mention. This doesn't necessarily mean that if they don't do this, the NX won't be successful. But me personally, I think Nintendo needs to lower the prices on their first-party games once they've been released for a while. Have you noticed that all the Marios or whatever, or the Zeldas, are always expensive? They never go down in price, dude. And if they do, it's only like $10. That's why I don't buy them, dude. I go to GameStop. I can go and buy awesome PS3. I can buy God of War. I can buy Ratchet and Clank. I can buy Sly Cooper. I can buy all these AAA titles for $10 or $15 at GameStop. And these games are just as good as their first-party Nintendo games. So why doesn't Nintendo just, I don't know, lower? I've never seen a Mario game for $15. Never. They'll never do it. But I think they should. I really think so. I mean, at the end of the day, why not? Like, what's the problem? I don't see why they don't do that. That's an honorable mention I think Nintendo needs to do. That's my personal opinion. Okay, now the number one thing Nintendo needs to do is have no fucking gimmicks. We're done with the gimmicks. Learn from the past, dude. Yes, the Wii had motion controls. Yes, it gave you sales for the short term. But on the long term, where the fuck are all those soccer moms and those grandmothers that bought the Wii? They're gone. They're nowhere. They don't even fuck with the Wii U. You did it to yourself. Stop with the gimmicks. This whole motion controls isn't even a standard in gaming today. Not with the PS4, not even with that Xbox. It was flavor of the month. Stop with that. Stop with this big ass tablet controller. That shit was too expensive to make, and people it wasn't practical, dude. It just wasn't. People got turned off. Yeah, it's a cool idea, but when you really gotta use it for the majority of the game, dude, people look at that as not one of the leading consoles, dude. You gotta go back to your roots. You gotta do what. Unfortunately, you gotta do what the other guys do. PS4 knows what the fuck they doing, dude. Sony knows. They know that gamers are gonna be hardcore gamers. They got the same controls, simple controls. They got the power. They got the layout, the accessibility, easy layout of online. You know what I mean? And so Nintendo just has to do that. I'm sorry, man. Like, this whole thing about trying to be innovative, it's not working, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I've read and I've researched, and a lot of people are done with the gimmicks. And what I've read is that Nintendo is gonna do something portable with the NX, and it's just like, just stop. Why don't you learn, man? I want Nintendo to be back on top. I want them to be the console that they should be. You know, the PS1 is what the N64 should have been. You know what I mean? That's what it should have been. The Super NES and the NES was just like the PS1. Tons of third-party support, powerful, easy for developers to develop, no fucking gimmicks, none of that. Awesome marketing. You just gotta focus on those things. Stop it, Nintendo. Stop. Yeah, a lot of people say, you know, the NX is gonna be good. You know what? I hope it is good. I really do, dude. They gotta stop with this kiddie shit. Stop branding their shit as kiddie shit. They gotta come correct. They gotta start getting them games that people want to play, man. When they get those third-party games, they gotta be the ones that people want to get. They gotta be the more superior ones. If they want to play the Assassin's Creed, they want to play the Grand Theft Autos, the Call of Duties, all that. They can't be the inferior ones. They gotta do that, man. And by doing that, I think they should have just a regular controller. Regular controller. No gimmicks. None of that. No motion controls. No portable shit. No tablet shit. Please, Nintendo, stop. And I think also you should make your console sleek. Make it nice, because a lot of these console designs are garbage. Xbox One looks like a VCR. You know what I mean? The Wii U is just a white box. It's like, come on, man. Like, PS4 at least has some type. It looks sleek because of the sharp edges and everything. Like, why can't Nintendo do something? Hell, make your main color of your console black or dark gray or you know what I mean, or something like that, man. Stop with this kiddie shit, man. So those are the top 5 things I think Nintendo should do. And I think if they do those things, if they stick to it, man, and they focus on the things, I really do think the NX can definitely be a competitor in the game. And I think Nintendo can come back and rebrand themselves as the king, where they should be. Because Nintendo's the one that brought back games, dude. Games were done. Nintendo came back and BAM! But honestly, in my opinion, they fell when they came out with the N64. N64 was just a total letdown as compared to the Super NES. And Sony came and they did it. You know what I mean? And so unless Nintendo wants to get them that spot again, they gotta learn from the mistakes. They gotta look at their history, because if they don't, then they're doomed to repeat it, man. And so I really do think they need to do that. All right. So once again, guys, that was it. Hope you like that. If you have any comments, any feedback on what you guys think Nintendo should do, leave it down below. So once again, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.